Either you run the day or the day will run you. Hey there, how's it going, you guys? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Bitcoin and Coffee. I'll be your host, Eugene Forrest. So what do we got going on today with these crazy cryptocurrency markets? Well, they're up a little bit, right? $11,333 when I checked it a moment ago. Lucky threes across the board. What does it mean? Is cryptocurrency, is Bitcoin most off going upwards? Is this just a little peak up? Are we going to slide downwards? We have people speculating on both sides of the board. When I stop and look at the situation, it's a matter of people are starting to wake up to what's happening out there, right? The dollar bill is sound as it used to be. We're starting to see people like Square, right? That was one of the big news over the last couple of days, talking about investing $50 million. We can get into that one in a moment, but we've heard this before about micro strategies. We've heard this from lots of hedge fund managers telling the rich people to invest 1% to 2% as we see the dollar bill inflating. But still, this doesn't have anything to do with the average everyday person. I read a news article this morning saying that you pretty much need to make $26 an hour in order to live comfortably, but yet we're fighting to only be able to get $10 an hour here in Florida. There's a big divide between the haves and the have-nots. Is Bitcoin going to be able to make the difference? Is it going to be able to put everybody on equal footing? I don't know. We see regulation pouring in, trying to make it so that not the average everyday person is capable of getting into Bitcoin. Right? We see KYC becoming a problem as people are not wanting to discuss how much Bitcoin they have out there. BitMix, right? I think that Bitcoin has a bright future. I think the network effect is growing every single year. As we see $11,000, yes, it's still hard to tell everybody out there, get some Bitcoin. Right? It's going to change your life. It's going to change everything in the future as more people get involved. They still think it's magical internet money. So you have the first mover advantage. But we all have those ones that we love, right? $100, $200 Bitcoin in these early days set aside for them can make the world of difference. So it isn't necessarily about getting out there and trying to explore the new DeFi project and possibly losing your shirt over the situation. It's about thinking smart, planning for the future, and realizing that cryptocurrency, most of Bitcoin, because of the decentralized nature, is growing in popularity and therefore growing in fiat and will eventually have a greater foothold. All right, we have my lovely co-host, Sammy, over here on the sideline.
Good morning, everyone.
So how are you feeling this morning about the price, Samantha? $11,300. We broke over that little $11,000 barrier where we had been range bound for a minute. Do you think this is the beginning of some sort of moonshot? Do you think this is just a little pump up and we'll be range bound again? Or does it really matter?
I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, I don't know. It is kind of weird that, like, as soon as, like, more stimulus crap has started talking again, the prices went up. So I don't know if it is just going to be a nice little pump or if it is, I don't know.
Correlated again, possibly to the stock markets. It's a possibility. I mean, we've seen that there's the speculation of bots, all trading in sync with each other and helping it to be tied to these other assets. Yeah, I mean, until we have a situation where there isn't a large supply of Bitcoin at the OTC desk, once again, going back to the Square story of them purchasing pretty much $50 million, and then not moving the price and no one really knowing about it until after they disclose. Obviously, there's Bitcoin laying around out there.
$50 million is not, I mean, that's not a little bit of money.
Well, see, it's, I've had problem understanding the price of Bitcoin as long as I've been in it. The people with all the money buy OTC, which doesn't change the price. But yet, me and you, right, we have to go to the exchange. And that's where there's price change, slippage, right? And that's where the price is determined. So the price is determined by the little guy. For the big guy to know how to spend his money.
Yes, right. Would it be so much more volatile if it was, based on the big whales? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess that's why we keep talking about the supply and demand issue is that, when the whales, when the rich, when the elite aren't capable of getting it at these OTCs, the miners don't have any extra that they want to sell.
You will have to look elsewhere.
They'll have to come to the people, right? They'll have to come to the first mover. They'll have to come to me and you, and they'll have to be trying to get our Bitcoin. And when we're not willing to sell, that's when we see these astronomical price predictions of 100,000, 200,000. But I mean, here we are, right? Heading towards the end of 2020, 2021, right around the corner. And it really doesn't seem like, even though we're breaking over $11,000, it doesn't seem like we're going to see 20,000 by the end of the year.
I mean, it doesn't feel like it was when yes.
It feels like every step is great.
Like, yes. Like it does not feel radical, I guess. This does kind of feel organic, I guess. I mean, we were at 10,000 for quite a long time. We didn't really drop below it. Everybody got kosher with that. Now we're bumping it up only a little. If we stay there, I mean, everybody will be kosher with that. I mean, it is late in the year. So, I mean, I don't see it happening because that would be I guess it would just be some better gains or whatever you want to call it. Oh,
so
Josh is here.
What do we got going on in the chat? Who's here? Who's hanging out with us? Josh, buddy, I'm glad that you can make it, my friend. I hope you're doing good up there. I know it's probably starting to get cold up north there.
He says, I hope regulations don't block withdrawals from exchanges. Yeah, I mean, that is the downside is that, that third-party loveliness, they do get to say no and yes and stuff. I mean, just like freezing your actual bank account.
I mean, all right, so we know, I had read an article that Robinhood, people on Robinhood have been getting hacked. And their accounts have been getting drained. And over on Robinhood, you can't move your Bitcoin in and out, right? You can only purchase it and use it for trading purposes. But still, they're accessing their account, they're liquidating in their accounts, and they're still moving it. You know what I mean? They're moving the funds off of it. So these third parties aren't necessarily as safe as everybody's thinking they are, right? We were hearing about Cash App hacks as well, and people's accounts being drained that way. I don't know. I guess I'd like to see statistics. What is the ratio of people using third parties getting hacked versus people using hardware wallets?
Yes, right. Your own. Like how hackable are you being or whatever? Well,
I mean, all right, people are hacked out of the hardware wallets. Malware, phishing events, all of these different things.
You clicked on the wrong link. I mean, those things that are not
the hardware wallet,
else.
But it still happens. So, I mean, is there a greater percentage of people using hardware wallets that are getting hacked over these third parties? Because eventually that's where you'd want to look, right? Is it better to trust these third parties that are constantly getting hacked and losing your funds?
Right.
Because it's growing, right? We were talking the other day about the ransomware attacks on the hospital.
Yes,
right.
And how it's really
cyber security and the digital frontier is the new frontier, right? And people are hacking and stealing information and stealing funds through.
Yes, I mean, that is the new thing, to lock you out of your own stuff, make you screw up what you got going on till you pay them. I mean, just like all the ones that they were hacking just to find out what kind of porn and what kind of whatever, just to screw with you, just to make it so you really don't, I mean, and then, okay, fine. I don't want my wife to know. I don't want my blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to pay you so that it goes away again. I mean, I get it, but it is like, I mean, if I also get like how in the article with the healthcare, I mean, if we continue to pay ransomwares for everything, when are they going to stop? I mean, what is the incentive to stop that? It's a lot. I mean, yes, you just get hacked.
I mean, the war on terror has been fought since the 70s, right? Before that, even 60s. And the ideal.
I mean, I think Cold War 50s or something.
I know.
Yeah, so like forever.
The whole idea, but the ideal of saying don't negotiate with terrorism doesn't necessarily work. So saying that don't pay the ransomware isn't going, just, you know what I mean? That being the solution to the situation isn't going to work.
I get what you're saying. Like, we actually need to somehow make it so they can't do it. All right.
Securing networks, right? I mean, that's usually what it's about, is somehow incentivizing people to secure a network so that it is not hackable. But that requires value. That requires purpose, right? That requires computing power. That's why Bitcoin's network, you know what I mean? It's really, there's not that great of information. And it's just a list of all the transactions, right?
Yes.
Who cares 3 years ago what Paul gave to Peter? You know what I mean? But that is the power of it as well. It's how we give value to them wanting to run the network. So when you have string of a couple computers somewhere holding up the city, all you have to do is over muscle their computer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of like the diary. Like, if you actually wrote in it every day, way back when type deal. I mean, it was a monotonous task. It was a something. But, like, when you find it the 20 years later, it's the insight to, Anne Frank or whatnot. Like, yes. Okay. Woo. I am like super blinded.
I know. I see that the sun is
like
peeping through the trees, hitting you right in the face over there, Samantha.
Ooh,
thanks for toughing it out over there as we're trying a totally different time slot today, right? Of course, we want you guys to comment in the chat. We want to know what you guys are thinking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency this morning. We're all happy that the price is going up. We just never want anybody to be too overzealous about it. We would love to see it get up over the $12,500 barrier, definitely signaling we're in a bull run, but I'm pretty sure we're there. The FUD hasn't moved the price down in quite a while.
All right. We have Moscow Mule.
Moscow Mule. Nice. Thanks for joining us. A long-time subscriber there. Yep. I mean, it's been a couple years now.
I think from the beginnings, forever. Because I remember being like, I love the name.
Well, we appreciate every time everyone stops by, hits the thumbs up, checks out a video. As always, we're not trying to sell anything, right? We don't have any classes or internet website we're trying to point you to collect some monthly fee or Patreon account. Right. We just want to have that open, honest discussion about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency so that we can figure out what's going on. Right. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency did good things for us in the beginning. It's been a while, though. Right. It's been a long time since we've seen big movements out of Bitcoin. Yeah, there's been projects on the side that if you were to get invested, you could have made some money. But if you stayed in too long, more than likely you got burned.
All right,
we've dedicated ourselves to the cause, right, Samantha?
We've
gotten out there. We passed out a bunch of flyers. COVID shut us down this year. We're still working on it. I mean, I seen that they're starting to have events. I seen over in Gainesville, they're starting to have small events at the bars and the clubs now that we're in phase 3 and we're open. I mean, those aren't the events that we go to and pass out flyers, but it's a good sign, right? It's a good sign that we're moving progressively in the direction of having music festivals that last a day to 3 days. And then we can get this buzz and get over there and pass those flyers out again. But of course, when it happens, we're always looking for help. We'll have donational addresses, but of course, we always want people to join in, make these brochures, come out to the events with us.
Man, we better have some more to drive this damn bus. It's a lot of our free time is going to fix it. Not fixing, but yes, now it's fixing the floor. I mean, we just painted the walls. There's still more painting the walls after the floor because, that makes sense. Oh, all right. So Moscow Mule says that we are going the way of Validity with Square buying 50 million and MicroStrategy buying 450 million worth. There are the first dominoes to fall, and now the rest will begin to come to market. I mean, I do feel that it is there is a lot more people talking about it. Yes. Like a lot more. When we were first here, I mean, it was like taboo. Like nobody even had a clue.
I know. And this is what we mean by saying the network effect. Every time I'm talking about the network effect, it's the fact that more and more people are starting to realize that they should be putting, that 1% to 2%, not enough where they're going to lose the house, right? If something happens, if Bitcoin does one of those crazy 20-30% corrections and stays down there for a month or two, so you can't exit your position without taking a loss.
Not everybody can be, crypto daily.
And then you talk about the average everyday person, right? Me and you, that work hard for our money and don't, we do, but most people don't have $1,000 saved, right? Investing in cryptocurrency, then they get wide-eyed. right? And then there's so many scams that are prevalent in the space that are just separated from their cryptocurrency however they can.
Yeah, I guess it is just that like, we have had, a humbling like life, I don't really feel that I need to be greedy enough to take our nest egg, and try to 3x it, 100x it,
Yeah.
5x it.
Well,
Like, it's like,
it's a matter of feeling satisfaction, and not most people aren't, fulfillment is
I know the grass
difficult.
isn't greener on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, no. Like, I have now lived long enough that it's like, I'm good with what I got. Like, try to be good with what you got, okay? Like, it's a lot better that way. UK Bitcoin Master.
UK,
Okay.
buddy, nice.
He said
Brian.
that he has liked and he is driving home from the vacation, so he's Nike. Gotta go. But drive safe.
Drive safe.
Watch
of course.
us later.
I appreciate you coming by, my friend. Yeah, it's a question of, is it going to create a really nice opportunity for early investors to regulation to come in and clean up the space, but the price of Bitcoin to not be past that $50,000 barrier yet, and give the average everyday person where it's not. We took a risk, right? Most people in our position have taken a risk because we invested in Bitcoin when it was seen as magical internet money and people didn't understand it. And, you were some crazy person. And if you didn't trust a third party, you were going to local Bitcoins and meeting somebody, right?
Yeah, that's,
you didn't have Cash App. Your best bet was to have joined Coinbase.
Yeah. Which Coinbase was there for you, don't worry. But
so,
yes.
If we're looking at the life of Bitcoin and we're looking at full term adoption in 25 to 30 years, in 5 years from now, is it going to create a situation where the price is still, under $50,000, $60,000 because not everybody is joined the network, but we've regulated the space where people are afraid to keep popping up with these different food tokens and, reinventing the ICO in all these different directions, which are all just some way to get you to send your money out of your wallet to their wallet under some sort of promise or pretext, right? Because that's the thing, is there's no insurance with Bitcoin. There's no insurance with cryptocurrency. The transaction's a push and not a pull. I guess now we got the Polkadot ICOs, which, give you a little insurance because if they don't meet some of their qualifications, you'll get a refund or partial refund, I think it is.
Yeah, they're like, if we didn't check all of the boxes, then you get like some prorated back or something. Like, I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah. If we fall short, you get some back.
So what do you got in the chat? What are you guys thinking this morning? It's a beautiful day, right? Taking it off, right? We should probably be at work. The day is nice enough, definitely to be out getting some work done, but we're going to take it off. We're going to go
rain sometime.
We're going to go to a corn maze.
We are.
And we're going to, you can pick sunflowers, and they got a pumpkin patch, and I'm
aiming for a pumpkin. Yep.
Samantha's on a mission for a pumpkin.
I snobbed out and didn't get any grocery store pumpkins because this man over here keeps saying pumpkin patch. So, yep. I'm gonna try. We'll see. We'll see if they got pretty pumpkins.
And then we might roll into St. Augustine and go try this special fish dip at some place, right?
The tree is raining on me.
It's the wind dropping the dew off the branches from this morning.
I love it.
I know. Usually we don't get to take the time to sit out here this early.
And there's no bugs. Lots of birds. No bugs though. I like it.
I just see that the yard work is never done.
It is never done. That is true.
So I still have a little bit of news over here. Of course, at this exact moment, it's all about the price. The price is up, and that's great. We see that BTC mining hash rate is hitting an all-time high again. It's been climbing. And we've seen the halving come about. Most people were expecting the price to slide back, or the hash rate to slide backwards. Speculation of a death spiral. But, as far as I can tell, the mining hash rate's up 40% or something since the halving?
Well, now.
150 quadrillion hashes or whatever those numbers are that I can never pronounce.
Yes.
I don't know. We got new coin join coming out of the Blue wallet. It's like version 5.6.1. Benny over on BTC Sessions was talking about it.
Yes, I do.
I know that
remember.
he is definitely a big fan of the Wasabi wallet over there, but the blue wallet, it allows you and the person you're sending a transaction, if you have this enabled, you guys both send cryptocurrency at the same time, but only the amount they're supposed to receive is what they receive. And it makes a distortion of who sent and who received and those kinds of things.
Yes. Gotcha.
So, I mean, of course, we're all innocent until proven guilty, and it's hard to prove something when there's reasonable doubt and question. So let's just add as much question as we possibly can when it comes to blockchain transactions.
Make it as hazy as possible, right? Yeah. Andy Anderson is here.
Andy Anderson, nice. I'm glad that you can make it, my friend. Everybody hit the thumbs up, share the video out. It's how we get more people in the conversation. Just hanging out this morning, enjoying the bump up, enjoying the fall weather, enjoying the company, right? I mean, because this is one of our favorite things to do.
It is.
It's not often, right, that you find like-minded individuals. You just kind of have to deal with the people that live around you. You deal with the people that you work with. You try to pick the best ones out of those case scenarios and be friends with them. You can't pick your family and how they act, but we pick each other, right? Out of everybody in the world, we're picking each other to hang out, have conversation with, and that's always a plus.
It's so awesome. Okay, Steve Helwig. He says
Nice.
The networks need to be audited.
Networks need to be audited.
Networks need to be audited. It was when you were talking about earlier. I'm going to sneeze, cough, something. I don't know what. Okay, everybody.
The weather change starting to get to you, or you were affected by that 19?
I am not infected by 19. Okay, but
I mean, of course, with some of the secondary blockchains, right? We've seen the attack on Ethereum Classic so many times now.
That one is so sad.
Bitcoin Gold's been attacked. I don't invest in any of those cryptocurrencies. I don't know how often they're audited, right? We know that code for a lot of the DeFi projects, the secondary ones, like the ones that all came out with the fruits. And I know that they weren't necessarily audited, right? That's how they had the big problems with the yams or whatever it was, where all of the tokens had gotten locked up within 48 hours.
Yes.
We know that the Bitcoin network is audited. We know that every second of every day it is being attacked, attempted to be manipulated, attempted to be double spent, and it's resilient because none of these things has ever happened, right? The Bitcoin network itself has never been hacked in the 10 plus years of running.
I mean, I love that there are men and women out there that are literally devoting, half of their awake time to all of their awake time, keeping it healthy, just continuing to check and continuing to make sure. And I mean, no one pays them. No one ever, this is, I don't know. This is the best non-for-profit ever.
Yeah. All right. I guess. All right. So we're sitting here today, right, Samantha? And I could either have all of my money in a crypto hardware wallet, and I can sit here and I can go to sleep at night thinking about how I'm on the verge of the emerging technologies, right? Like AI and all, virtual reality and all of that. And that there is unfathomable knowledge out there working towards the advancement of it. Or I could sit here and I can have all my money parked in stocks and 401ks and this kind of stuff and be thinking about how the government sucks. And, none of it really seems to make a lot of sense. And there's a lot of turmoil and chaos about what's going to be happening as we talk about stimulus programs on, stimulus programs off, China trade wars, all this good stuff. Where would you like our money to be, Samantha? Especially since we're in our late 30s, right? So, I mean, the later part is going to get here eventually. Unfortunately.
No, I know the man has no plan for me. Okay.
I just know I don't want to be the person standing at the Walmart doing the greeting as I'm killing my feet to stand upright for the 4 to 5 hours the shift is.
Those are the ones that are now saying, "Do you want a mask?"
I mean, I'm sure that that's where we were destined before we had gotten into Bitcoin. And at this point, I would like to just help other people better their lives. The advancement of Bitcoin and to figure out the best way we can to make sure that we avoid that situation and get ourselves in the situation of traveling the world and making the most out of our life.
Oh, Mrs. UK is here. Yay.
Nice. Thanks for joining us.
And Paul Rouleau is here. He says, good morning.
Paul Rouleau, good morning, my friend. I hope you're having a good day.
We love you guys. Everybody's awesome. I mean, we're always an optimist. I mean, I don't know. It is always, glass half fullness. I mean, it's kind of single-minded to think that
negativity breeds
yes.
negativity.
I mean, and that's why I try not to focus on the price or what is affecting the price, because quite honestly, I mean, it is so, there could be so many reasons, and we'll never know, or we'll know 5 years from now or 10 years from now or whatever. I mean, that's why there's so many rabbit holes of conspiracies that you could, woo.
I don't know, once we seen the Bitmain events and how it held the price down and held the advancement back, and no one realized until after, right? It leads me to believe that if it happened once, it'll happen again. It's continuously happening, and we will we'll never know exactly what's happening with the Bitcoin network and how the developments are occurring until it's a matter of the future, and we're looking back at it, right? Because we have so many people that are paid right now to be working open source on the Bitcoin network. And then we have people that are just doing it on their own.
Yep.
I mean, when you talk about stuff like the Mimblewimble project.
I know, the Harry Potterness. Okay. Yes. Yes. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't worry about what the price is or what affects the price, because I just know that we have Bitcoin. Like, so it doesn't really, it's not going to matter to me, because like you're saying, in the end, I don't know. If in 5 years it comes out that it's suppressed and this and that, and then I'm a millionaire or whatever, great. It's not going to be that big of a deal to me. I don't need the Jeep tomorrow. I can wait 15 years.
I don't know if it's necessarily, we always say price suppression, but it's not necessarily that it's price suppression. It's adoption suppression, because adoption is what will change the price. Because as we discussed at the beginning of the video, it's by the low end people who are buying it at spot on the exchange. So if we limit the inflow of lower end individuals that are not multimillionaires trying to buy Bitcoin into the market, then there isn't the demand coming through at the spot to push the price up.
I guess that makes sense. Like the government and all of the countries that are like hungry hippoing, they're just like, they are elbowing everybody out of the hungry hippo circle until they're full.
But at the same time, keeping it like in some sort of haze and keeping the pipelines off and trying to, allow certain things and not allow certain things to limit how much exposure there is to the lemmings.
Oh, I believe you're getting a little bit sun hit. It's hard to tell, but I think you're looking a little
I see
golden.
it landing on the camera. It's like half lit. Well, that is all of the news. I would love to keep talking if you guys got more to conversate about.
Pothead's here. Good morning.
Pothead, thanks for joining us, buddy. But besides that, I'm ready to go enjoy the day. I'm glad the price is up. I hope it continues in this upward trajectory. But really, it's about getting Bitcoin to the people, right? And every time a day happens, that's occurring, right? More people wake up, more people understand, more people opt out of the system, more advancements are made.
There is more important things in the price.
Anything in the chat, Samantha?
Nope, we are good.
All right, you guys. I super appreciate you coming out there and hanging out with me this morning. I want you guys to go out there, have a great day. I want you to make the most of it. And I want you to keep that BTC safe, because it's going to change the world, guys. Later.
Bye, guys.